Okay, picture this. It's 3 p.m., Friday afternoon, things are winding down, or maybe they're frantic, and your biggest client calls. Urgent request. They need 20 pallets, right? Delivered 3 different spots across the Midlands, and they need it there by Monday morning. You make the call to your usual courier, and the answer comes back, nope, impossible. Sound familiar? Maybe a bit too familiar for some. Well, this deep dive is really all about flipping that impossible into consider it done when we're talking about logistics, specifically pallet distribution. We're digging into material today from a company called SMA Worldwide. They actually call themselves a strategic pallet growth partner here in the UK market. So let's unpack that a bit. How can a, let's say, strategic view of pallet logistics be the thing that turns a no into a yes? And how does that actually drive growth, protect your reputation, give you an edge? We're going to look at their particular approach, the tech they use, their network setup, and crucially, the results they say they get for clients. Right off the bat, the material says SMA Worldwide doesn't just move pallets, they move your business forward.
It's a bold claim, isn't it? But what's really behind that? What are they doing differently that lets them say they're moving the whole business forward, not just the freight? Is there like a core mechanism?
Yeah, it is a strong claim, and what's interesting is how they frame it. They're essentially saying logistics isn't just a line item cost you have to swallow. Instead, it's something that can actively drive growth, give you a competitive advantage. The key takeaway isn't just that they're efficient shippers, it's that they're pushing businesses to rethink how they even categorize logistics spending. Stop seeing it as just a necessary evil. Think of it more like a strategic investment. That 98% plus on-time delivery figure they mention, it's not just a performance stat. It represents customer trust, less friction in your operations. And that often links directly, maybe in ways people don't always track, to customer lifetime value.
That's a really interesting way to put it. Investing in reliability pays back in loyalty. And a big part of how they apparently deliver this is their technology. They talk a lot about their advanced online portal. It sounds like the hub of their service. The sources mention things like real-time tracking, not just for the client, but for the client's customers too. Instant proof of delivery, which helps with invoicing. Plus 24/7 online booking, instant quotes, automated notifications, even detailed reporting for optimizing things. It sounds, well, pretty comprehensive.
It does sound comprehensive, and when they say advanced portal, the material suggests it's more than just a website login. We're likely talking API capabilities, things that can plug directly into a client's own ERP system that allows for, say, automated order placement, real-time inventory syncs, not just checking a status, that kind of deep integration. It's a step up from your standard tracking page. It implies they've invested heavily in making their system work seamlessly with the client's operations. And that level of data flow, that transparency, it isn't just for convenience. It really changes how a business manages its supply chain. You move from just reacting to problems to actually, proactively managing things.
So it's a genuine tool for strategic management, not just a tracking feature. Okay. Beyond the tech, then, there's the network piece. Nationwide network, local expertise. They mentioned being a platinum member in the Palletways network. What does that actually mean in practical terms?
Right, so Palletways, for anyone maybe not deep in UK logistics, operates a big hub and spoke system. It brings together freight from lots of independent hauliers like SMA. Being a platinum member isn't just a label. It usually signals they're a major partner, high volume, consistent quality, maybe even some influence on how the network itself runs. It puts SMA in a strong position, and that means practically your pallets can get pretty much anywhere efficiently. Highlands of Scotland down to Cornwall, as they say. But it's that mix, the nationwide reach plus the local knowledge from being on the ground, that's key for finding the best routes and keeping costs sensible. They know the regional quirks.
Yeah, that local insight must count for a lot in avoiding snags. And they also stress they can scale. Daily trailers if you need them, or just flexible one-offs. They grow with you. Which seems to tie into their third big point, this true partnership mindset. They say they avoid one-size-fits-all. Instead, they talk about having dedicated account managers who really get to know your business, your plans, your busy seasons, your challenges. Sounds great, but in an industry that's often about volume and speed, how do they make that personal touch work without adding huge overheads that you, the client, end up paying for?
That's a fair question. The model seems to rely on using the network's efficiency for the actual transport, the heavy lifting. The partnership bit comes through that dedicated account management layer. They position themselves as more like an extension of your own team. So rather than just taking orders, they're supposed to be understanding your goals, anticipating needs like seasonal peaks and suggesting solutions. It's trying to move beyond just being a supplier.
Okay, so it's about layering in that relationship management onto an efficient operational base.
Hmm.
Makes sense. So let's connect the dots. How does this whole package, the tech, the network, the partnership, actually deliver tangible benefits? The sources highlight a few key areas. First one, customer satisfaction and retention. How does good logistics feed into that?
Well, it's pretty fundamental, isn't it? If deliveries arrive when promised every time, that builds trust. Simple as that. And if the goods arrive in perfect condition because they've been handled professionally, that protects your brand's image. Plus, offering flexible delivery options helps you meet your customers' needs better. It's really about ensuring that whole post-purchase experience is positive right up to the moment the goods land.
Absolutely. And beyond keeping the end customer happy, they also talk about boosting your internal operational efficiency. How does partnering with someone like this help streamline things internally?
Essentially, by handling the logistics complexity well, they free up your own team's time and resources. You're not constantly chasing deliveries or firefighting problems. Predictable schedules mean better inventory management, maybe less need for huge buffer stocks just in case. And those integrated systems we talked about, they cut down on admin workload, plus they give you data for smarter planning. It makes your whole operation leaner, more agile.
Less firefighting, more planning. Okay. Then there's market expansion made easy. That sounds appealing. How does a pallet network help you reach new markets without, building warehouses everywhere?
It's really about leveraging their existing infrastructure. That nationwide network means you can start selling into new geographic areas without needing your own depots or delivery fleet there. That's a massive barrier removed. And their ability to flex capacity up or down is crucial too. It means you can handle seasonal spikes or target premium markets that demand absolute reliability without worrying if your logistics can actually keep up.
Right, so you can test new waters without a huge upfront investment. Makes sense. And the final big benefit area they touch on is transparent cost control. They mention no unpleasant pricing surprises. How do they manage that in an industry where extra charges can sometimes pop up?
It seems to come down to having a clear, upfront pricing structure. Plus, using a large network gives them economies of scale, which should translate into lower per pallet costs for the client. And don't underestimate the cost impact of things like damage rates. If they handle goods professionally and reduce damage, that directly protects your profit margins. Fewer write-offs. Also, efficient routing saves fuel and time, which means cost savings and it's better environmentally. It's interesting how these benefits all link together, really. Better reliability means fewer customer complaints, which saves operational time, which links back to cost. It's a kind of positive cycle they're aiming for.
Holistic approach, yeah. And they don't just talk in generalities. They give examples for specific industries, industry-specific solutions, like for manufacturing and engineering. They mention just-in-time deliveries, getting emergency parts there in hours to stop production lines halting.
Yeah.
That's critical.
Exactly. Or for retail and e-commerce, it might be complex multi-drop routes for stocking stores or handling the fast pace and accuracy needed for direct-to-consumer online orders. For construction, it's about site deliveries hitting very specific time windows to keep projects moving. Delays there are incredibly expensive. And in food and beverage, you've got the added complexity of temperature control, rapid restocking for freshness, and strict compliance needs. They seem to tailor the service, which again underlines that partnership idea. It's not just a pallet as a pallet. They understand the specific pressures of different sectors.
Okay, so we've heard the promises, the approach, the examples. What about the bottom line, the results? What kind of metrics do their clients actually see? The sources point to things like on-time delivery rates hitting above 98%. That sounds incredibly high. Also, a significant reduction in complaints about deliveries, faster order fulfillment overall, and then the growth metrics. Expanding geographically without adding infrastructure costs, seeing revenue grow in those new areas, and better customer acquisition and retention.
And that 98% figure, it really is exceptionally high. In pallet networks, consistently getting over 95% is already considered very, very good. So hitting 98% plus suggests top-tier operational control. But connecting it back, like you said, these aren't just numbers on a logistics dashboard. They translate directly into real business outcomes. Fewer complaints means happier customers who stick around longer. Faster fulfillment might mean quicker payments. Expanding reach obviously opens up revenue streams. It all impacts the bottom line and your market standing.
It paints a picture of logistics being transformed from a potential headache like that Friday 3 p.m. call into a genuine business asset. So to sort of recap, SMA Worldwide's pitch seems to be about combining that big network reach, Palletways, with very personalized service and robust tech. They're offering reliability, flexibility, clear pricing, full visibility with tracking, and that standout 98% plus on-time record. All framed as ways to protect your reputation and actively fuel your growth. So wrapping up, what does this all mean for you listening? Maybe it sparks a question. What if you stopped seeing your logistics provider as just a necessary cost and started thinking about them as a potential strategic partner, someone who could actually help unlock new opportunities and build stronger customer loyalty? It's worth considering, perhaps, how a really solid strategic approach to logistics, like the one outlined here, could genuinely make a difference in your own business or your area of interest.